I got the horse right here. The name is...
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Barn Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Sunday, May the 29th races at Hastings Racecourse. We do have 8 races on tap. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, good card today. Another one where you can make a case for a lot of these horses.
Good allowance race. We got a good card. There's like 2 allowance races,
yep.
Our maiden allowance, non-2 fillies, an optional for 25,000 older horses. They got 3 good allowance pots. Nice little card that we've been able to assemble.
It is a nice card today, and we will get right into it. 8 races on tap. First post, as always, 150. And the first race to go at 150 is a maiden 16 for 3-year-old and up boys, going 6.5 furlongs. I went to the 3 here, Fireball Finnegan. He's very quick. He was very quick in his debut at Emerald. He came up here, comes out of a very tough allowance race with good as they get. Admiral Jackson, Timber King, a couple of horses we'll see later on in the card. I think he can get his speed now. It's his second race over the track. He may carry his speed a little bit further, so I put him on top. Of the 5, the obvious threat, PS Diamond Cutter, got a big 63 buyer in a maiden 8 where he just got caught by Harbor the Energy, a well-bred colt out of the Mike Anderson barn. He looks very live in here too, so I went Fireball Finnegan, PS Diamond Cutter, and I gave Cowboy Phil a shot, another one that comes out of a very good maiden special weight, and was involved early. With just his first race of the year, Phil Hall is doing very well, so I think this horse will get a big, get a lot out of that race and should run tougher here. He's been working up a storm for this 3-year-old son of Forest Grove, out of a very speedy mare, all-around cowgirl. So I put him in the 3rd spot. I went 3, 5, and 4.
Yeah, I went to the 5 PS Diamond Cutter. I think this horse is going to get a good pace to run into. The 1, Milshon's going to go. Fireball Finnegan's going to go. Cowboy Phil's going to go. It's going to be a fast pace, I think. And I think PS Diamond Cutter, even though it was just a maiden 8, ran into a pretty good one in Harbor the Energy, and the pace wasn't great. This horse still was running on, was 4 wide. This horse had a dreadful trip as the heavy favorite last time, and I think he's up to this, minimally tougher company.
Yeah.
It's not a big jump. I went PS Diamond Cutter to win it. Put the 3 Fireball Finnegan. I guess this horse can run away and hide if it wants to, but still looks to be wanting in the stretch, though. This horse has the good speed, but can't finish off his races. But maybe at this level, that he can do the job. And I put the 1 Milshon, who's run 2 good races so far. Actually, he did win one, was disqualified, but this horse is in the mix as well. I went 5, 3, and 1, but I do like PS Diamond Cutter to win the Sunday opener. On to race number 2. That's a maiden $4,000 fillies and mares. This is the first half of a split. They go as the 2nd and 8th races. There is a field of 6 here, and I had a lot of trouble trying to work one out here. I went to the 3 Joe It All. I took the horse 2 starts back. Got caught by Corporate Lass. I'm gonna take her again. This is a way easier spot. I got to go Joe It All to defeat the 4 Ado, who makes his first start after being privately purchased by Clint Wilson. And I put the 5 Brooklyn Boss in for 3rd of the Anita Bolton outfit. Blinkers on for this one, so perhaps better is in store. I went 3, 4, and 5.
I did go to Brooklyn Boss. I like the added blinkers. I like Hamill takes the call for Anita Bolton, a trainer as we mentioned in yesterday's show, that is due for some luck. And he looks speedy, and I like the fact they put the blinkers on. Maybe it'll carry him a little bit further. And he comes back with a good work off that last race in 48 and 2. That's a pretty good work for these lower end claimers. So I put Brooklyn Boss on top of Joe It All. 2 very good efforts this year, a 2nd behind Corporate Lass, and last time ran into some tough horses, Lady Cash and Riding on the Wind. So Joe It All comes out of a live race and could steal this one too. And for 3rd spot, I wanted the first time starter, Gilly Gilly. Comes out of a very good Craig McPherson barn, so that's why, horse maybe has some upside coming out of a good barn. I went 5, 3, and 2 in the 2nd. On the 3rd, fillies and mares, 4,000, non-3. I went to the 5 Jazzed. Ran a good race for 8,000 behind Blended, I Believe in Angel. Then went into a straight 4 and 2 and absolutely destroyed a field, winning by over 6 lengths. Hamill sticks with hot trainer Rod Terrace. Jazzed for me is a single on the card. I'd say best bet of the day for me is Jazzed. Fits the condition well, goes into a non-3. No reason she can't run away and hide from this group as well. I put Catch and Fire in the 2nd spot. She figures to be, the other tough horse in here, coming off a good 2nd behind Ariki Princess in a day when she was heavily favored in a non-3 event. And I put Cadeo, who finished just behind Catch and Fire in that the last race, sorry. Nothing fancy there. I just went with the horses ran 2nd and 3rd last time, but I really like Jazzed.
Yeah, I agree, Drew. I like the 5 Jazzed. Richard Hamill has his choice of Jazzed and Catch and Fire. He's on Jazzed, and I think those are your two horses. I think I can see Catch and Fire winning, but she would need to step it up a bit. Jazz was very good last time. I went 5, 3, and 2. I just put Wild Rose of Texas. Yeah. It's 3, 5 or 5, 3 for me. Yeah. Everything else is like a distant third, but I did put Wild Rose of
5,
Texas.
5, 3 all in my trifecta.
I agree with Drew. 5 and 3 or 5, 3, 2 in race number 3. On to the fourth race. $25,000 optional for 3-year-old fillies.
Good little race here.
Non-2, non-3 lifetime. I see a lot of speed in here. I went to the 1 Estelato. This horse ran a good third first time out to Omi, and Don't Tell My Husband kind of had to alter course down on the inside and ran on well to be third. It was just her career debut. And then she came back in 2 weeks, didn't scorch them, but still it was pretty quick back for a horse making just her second career start after, running pretty good first time out. And she's come back to work well. 3 weeks in between races this time. Looks like she's going to get a favorable pace scenario. And I'm going to try Estelato to win over the 4 Chianti, who the only reason she was in for 16 is that she was eligible to run protected, and she won easy. Richard Hamill picks up the mount now, and as long as she can avoid a pace duel, then she's going to be very dangerous also. And the 5 McDove, I put that one in for third. I left Hippie out, and Valid Val and Colleen Steinman. Yeah. All these horses are speed. They're all nice horses. I didn't know. There's a lot of chances in here. I went 1, 4, and 5. I could be, like I said, Hippie can win this race. Ran third to Princess Katie.
Yeah, Colleen
wasn't
Steinman,
the fastest time. Did lose to Texas Alley Cat, who's, not, I just thought, I wanted someone coming out of those allowance races and someone that's got some upside that's maybe moving forward, and I tried Estelato. I went 1, 4, 5.
I got the same horses. I did put McDove on top. As you mentioned, I see a lot of speed in here.
Kidding. Yeah.
She ran a good race in the opener. She was working well into that Ross McLeod. Mark Clucci's having a very good year, and I think she gets a favorable trip. Sitting behind what you mentioned, should be a hot pace. I went with McDove on top. I put Estelato in the second spot for the reasons you mentioned, a filly that obviously has a lot of upside for owners, breeders, Mr. and Mrs. R.J. Bennett, 256 buyers in a row, and seems to be moving the right direction. So she could take a big step forward. And I put Chianti in the third spot. Wouldn't be surprised to see her win it. And a very impressive debut this earlier this year for her. Got a 62 buyer for that, and good to see Hamill take the call on her. I went 5, 1, and 4. In the fourth, on to the fifth, the maiden special weight for boys, going 6.5 furlongs. I went down to the rail. Number 1, Admirable Jackson, was pretty well backed in his first start. Had not been running well at the Southern California circuit, but he's well bred. He's a Fusiachi Pegasus, was paid $55,000 for him at Keeneland. And his works were really good going into that last race, and he comes back with a very nice work in 46 and 3. Rosie Anderson's always a high percentage trainer. I like Admirable Jackson in here. Good second behind the tough horse, and good as they get last time. So Admirable Jackson for me. Put Liquid Metal in the second spot. Another one that ran a very good race just behind Good As They Get. So those two, I think, are the tough ones in here. But you could make a case for a bunch like Don't Tell My Husband, Timber King, our Triple Charm, a filly against the boys. But I went Admirable Jackson on top of Liquid Metal. I put Santa Fe Trail in the third spot for trainer Dave Forrester. Pretty good effort in his first start, and he should take a big step forward off of that. I just like that was a tough race, and it was his first start against horses that had a bunch of races, and I could see him moving forward. So I went 1, 6, and 4.
Yeah, I flip-flop your top two. I think the 6 Liquid Metal might be able to beat the 1 Admiral Jackson, but they're both live in here. They're both look to be pretty tasty looking in this race. Admiral Jackson, good runner-up effort to Good As They Get, and had every shot to win, but didn't. But still, that was just his first start in a year, and he's come back to work well. The 6 Liquid Metal battled with the eventual winner, Toreador, a 4-year-old, and which cost him second late, and he got beat by Good As They Get, who came back to win. Those are your two horses. I put Dynamite Kid. I'm going to give that one a shot for third. I'm not going to give up on him. A little bit of trouble at the far turn last time. Craig McPherson and Copperwater Thoroughbreds have been clicking at a pretty high percentage, and wouldn't be surprised to see this one rebound with a better effort. So I went 6, 1, and 7 in race number 5 to start of your late pick 4. On to race number 6, $25,000 older geldings here, going, or actually 9 of them going 6.5 furlongs. It's an optional claimer. I went to the 7, Aditya. I'm going to give this one another chance, dropping out of a little tougher race last time. I was out there battling near a slow pace that was being set by Crackdown, but didn't run on. I look for this horse as a shoot off the lead and run a little faster and be a little better. So I'm going to put a ditch on top. The 8 twist grips look great. Dropped in for 16. Was eligible to be protected for 16, and that's why he was in that race, or else he wouldn't have been. He ran down his Finally Friday. He's a solid $25,000 horse. And I put the 6 horse off the top. Another one I think will run better second time out. I went 7, 8, and 6. I think those are your 3. I think they're the best 3 horses in the race by a mile, actually. Maybe Mighty Fraser might be in the mix as well, but I went 7, 8, 6.
I have 2 of your top horses. I did put Twist Grips on top. He's just the most seasoned horse in the race, a 7-year-old, running against some newly turned 4-year-olds. So a big effort last time, beating It's Finally Friday in Senior Rojo and getting a giant 81 buyer for it. I put Twist Grips on top of perfectly reckless, the Mike Anderson. Another one that comes out of that crackdown race, and only got beat 3 lengths. A good 4th for him. He got a 76 buyer for that. Mike Anderson, excuse me,
Going well.
rolling again.
Yep.
And I put a ditch in the 3rd spot, your top horse. I could see those 3 winning, and that would be my other horse, would be off the top. Those are the 4 I would put in any of your pick 4s or anything. 4, 6, 7, 8. I went 8, 4, and 7 in the 6th. On to the 7th.
Maiden
$4,000 event going 6.5 furlongs. 4 older boys. Field of 7 here. I ended up on the 1, Sal. Ran into a tough race last time. He ran 3rd behind Harbored Energy, who's probably a pretty nice colt, and PS Diamond Cutter, who looks like the horse to beat in the first race in a maiden 16. This guy goes the other way down to a maiden 4 and should be a handful in here. I put Sal on top of Jamal, who just got beat 3 lengths as the favorite last time. A lightly raced horse, only 2 starts in his life. He's been favorite both starts and adds blinkers today for hot trainer Mark Kluch. I put him in the 2nd spot, and I put He Is Tough in the 3rd spot. Another one coming out of that Harbored Energy race, only got beat a half length by Sal, so he's fairly live in here as well. Those are the horses I see in here. Those 3 are the 3 I would take in a pick 4 would be 1, 7, and 5.
Yeah, I've got the same 3, Drew. I think Sal's live in here, blinkers on, a lot of blinker change. All 3 horses get, hopefully, anytime you see changes, you want to see, obviously trainers are trying to enhance their chances. And you got Sal and Jamal both adding blinkers, and you got He Is Tough adding Lasix. Like, all 3 horses ran well last time and now getting,
maybe a little
trainers
bit of help,
are making measures to be even better next time, and that's encouraging. I like Sal over the 7 Jamal and the 5 He Is Tough, but I agree all 3 are interchangeable. I went 1, 7, and 5, just as Drew did. On to race number 8, the second half of the filly and mare $4,000 maiden sprint. This field drew 7 horses. I ended up on the 4 Fleet Alice. A runner-up effort last time to Ruffy Rose, moves to the Dave Dahl barn and found a nice spot. This race come up quite light, and I think Fleet Alice can win it. Put the 1 Supernova Sally. Ran a decent race in her 2nd start of the year, so I got to follow her back, and I put the 3 on Camera. What a tough trip out wide last time, and might be one that you want to follow back with a better draw. Ruben Lara re-rides. Been working horses and galloping horses for Robbie Anderson, so that's surprising to see him get a shot there. I went 4, 1, and 3 in the Sunday finale.
I agree with the Fleet Alice. Ruffy Rose is a filly that always looked like she had some talent, but had some mental issues, but finally put it all together and just ran away from last time. But Fleet Alice was clearly 2nd best. I put her in the top spot. Supernova Sally, as you mentioned, Richard Hamill takes a call on her. Only got beat a couple links in a maiden 4 last time, so she figures to be tough in here. And for my 3rd, so we got the same 2. I think those are the 2. Yeah. And for my 3rd pick, I put in Leading Lady. Was pulled up in her 1st start. Scott Williams rode last time, only gets beat 3 lengths, only a half length by Supernova Sally, and basically her 1st start, because she got nothing out of the 1st one, so she could take a step forward. It was basically her 2nd start of the year, a half sister to Kai's Command. I went 4, 1, and 6 in the 8th. That'll do it for our analysis of the Sunday card. Up next on screen will be our picks. Mike, as always, you're up first.
Back in race number 1. Went to the 5, PS Diamond Cutter, 5, 3, and 1 for me in the opener. Race number 2 went to the 3, Joe It All, 3, 4, 5. Race number 3, the 5, kind of agree with Drew. This could be the best bet of the day, Jazzed. Over the 3, Catch and Fire, and the 2, Wild Rose of Texas. 4th race number 1, Estelado, 1, 4, and 5, in a very competitive 3-year-old filly event. Race number 5, I went to the 6, Liquid Metal, over the 1, Admiral Jackson, and the 7, Dynamite Kid. Race number 6, the 7, Aditya over the 8, Twist Grips, and the 6 off the top. Race number 7, the 1, Sal on the class drop, 1, 7, and 5. And the 8th race went to the 4, A Fleet Alice, 4, 1, and 3. Next up are Drew's picks.
In the first, I went to the 3, Fireball Finnegan over the 5 and the 4. In the second, I went to the 5, Brooklyn Boss over the 3 and the 2. In the third, number 5, Jazzed over the 3 and the 4. In the fourth, nice little allowance race, I went to the 5, McDove over the 1, Estelado, and the 4, Chianti. In the fifth, I went to the 1, Admiral Jackson, I keep mispronouncing that, over the 6 and the 4. In the 6, another nice allowance race for older horses, number 8, Twist Grips over the 4, Perfectly Reckless, and the 7, Aditya. And I agree with Mike on the late double in the 7th, number 1, Sal over the 7 and the 5, and the nightcap, number 4, A Fleet Alice over the 1 and the 6.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in to Handicappers Corner. Hopefully the May 29th program will be good to everybody. 8 good races, 3 nice allowances. It's a good card. This is a really good card. Hopefully the weather holds. It's supposed to be kind of cloudy with sunny periods, but hopefully the sun peaks out and makes things a little more enjoyable for the.
Sure, it'll be beautiful if you get a few winning tickets.
Oh no, who cares? It could be raining and you're winning, catching tickets. It's all good. Our next live cards will be next Saturday and Sunday. That'll be June the 4th and June 5th. We will have 4 stakes races that weekend. We will have once again the older boys running, the older fillies and mares, Arabella's Muse and Touching Promise, and all the goodies. Sailing for the Sun probably will join the stakes ranks. Of course, Modern. They're both $75,000 stakes races too. Modern will be battling again with Hollywood Angel and the Colts and Geldings.
Tough choice for Richard Hamill. He also has Sabado Alegre.
Yeah, that's another one going to be in there. They're all 6.5 furlongs. Then the 3-year-old Colts and the 3-year-old fillies will also be in action in stakes races. So lots of stakes action that following weekend on June the 4th and 5th. So stay tuned for that. Should be a lot of more excitement at Hastings Racecourse. Once again, thanks everyone for tuning in to Handicappers Corner. Wish you lots of luck in your wagers on the May 29th program. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.